I was diagnosed about 3 months ago. I actually failed year 13 and didn't get university entrance, but I kind of just charmed my way into Victoria University, and I'm deeply thankful that they let me do that. But I also failed politics as well, like a politician failing politics, that's just wild. And I actually didn't make it past year 1 of politics. Another issue that I found was my social awkwardness. When I got into my university years, I developed a drinking problem to help kind of lubricate that socialising. Now, becoming mayor, being neurodiverse has had an absolute benefit to the way that I operate. So that hyper-focus that we have, being able to analyse like pattern recognition, so me being able to read certain behaviours has been absolutely crucial. And I've been able to utilise that to become the mayor. But again, I still have my challenges. The fatigue, my goodness, it gets to 3 o'clock and I just want to go to bed. There goes my chief of staff over there who helps me emotionally. My chief of staff has probably witnessed me becoming more and more dorkier, and just being a bit silly, because that's what I'm really like, as opposed to this, this fierce wahine toa, which is what I had pretended to be for so many years, when actually I'm not that at all. I'm just this kind of like silly, goofy person, and that's okay.
Mayor Tory Whanau. Tory, yes, a friend, but also my former boss as chief of staff. I just also wanted to acknowledge my co-host, Ingrid Leary.
Thank you so much, Chlöe. I think it's really important for all of you to know that we do have neurodiversity here in this parliament. I'm also neurodiverse, also ADHD. Tory, I heard so much of myself in your kōrero, especially about always getting into trouble for things that seem really basic to other people, like being on time at the right place, and so on. That is a real struggle. If you're thinking about becoming a parliamentarian, please do. We need more diversity in this place, and it's so lovely to see you in here. Also, I'd invite you to recognise not only what makes your thinking different, because obviously the more inclusive we are, the less we have to have these silly labels, because everybody thinks differently at the end of the day. But think about your superpower as well, because we do bring superpowers. The hyper-focus for me, but also the ability to think across and think laterally is so natural to me, and people are like, oh, wow, how did you think of that? So don't just focus on the things that are challenging. Find your superpower, use it, and if this place feels comfortable for you, please come back here soon or in a few years and help us change the laws. Our prisons are full of neurodiverse people, and it's up to this group of people here, you're all leaders, for us to make the change so that people can contribute rather than being locked up for the way they think.
Just to continue on the whakaaro from Mayor Whanau, I should also point out that I was once almost kicked out of my science class for arguing with my science teacher about the fact that everything that she was teaching us was falsifiable. A few years ago, after quite a while on antidepressants, thinking that I was just very, very depressed, I went off of them because I felt like a lot of stuff wasn't really working out in my life, and I went and sat down with a therapist, my psychologist, and was like, I think I'm a psychopath. I don't think that I understand the world or people's emotions like the other people around me seem to. Kind of asked for some of those self-diagnostic tools that they were talking about, and quietly started to piece this picture together for myself. And that led me to then feel a little bit concerned about how on paper, everything looks relatively successful. But obviously in my life I was witnessing the wheels kind of falling off. And I compiled all of this stuff and went to my GP and said, I think that maybe I need to go to a psychiatrist and go through this process, because it just seems to be the only thing that kind of makes sense. And as Tory's just alluded to, with the privilege that I have in this position, still experienced a number of those barriers. As Ingrid has just said, at the end of the day, all of us have different brains. And I think with neurodiversity, we have a tendency to talk about it or narrativize it in a binary. We tend to think or talk about it as a superpower or as this incredibly debilitating or disabling thing. So we are the change that all of us have been waiting for. You definitely don't need any more politicians talking to you. Thank you very much.